It's a beautiful day for Suning coming into Game 2 after what was one of their cleanest games here in summer, on the way up through the rankings, and Rogue Warriors now stand in their way a second time. My name's Derex, Raz, and bring up Smlz, who had a very good laning phase, as you mentioned, and a very good Sivir game.
Yes, great game. And to me, once again, it's a Sivir and Yuumi performance, so also SwordArt came in and did his work. Great to see Smlz performing in lane, something we didn't actually see from both these laners for quite some time. Both Smlz and ZWuJi usually take a lot of damage and pressure and wait as long as possible to be able to get the items, get the team fights, and be incredibly effective. They got rolling really early on. A lot of it mostly because Huanggai got slammed.
Yes.
And that's the sad part of all of this. Really early on in the lane, they kept finding Huanggai. Didn't use flash as much as I would have liked him to. And then plays like these is what I'm excited for. I mean, I'll just kind of... I get to show you anyways. I'll visualize it.
Make it.
Essentially, Jarvan comes in, Cataclysm. You think, oh, 2v3. Guess Smlz is dying very soon. Athene's Unholy Grail heal upon heal from the Yuumi, and he's able to out-sustain. And before the Kiana even joins the fight, ends up getting the kill on the Jarvan, and Caitlyn essentially hightails it with like about sub 100 HP. So great job being able to outplay numerous plays that usually plagued them in the past. That
became the story of Game 1 though. The small windows that Rogue Warriors had, they used them well, but always constantly outplayed by Suning.
Yes.
Maple in top lane where he got caught out was a great example of that.
Yes, that was one moment. You're right in the top side of the map. The mid lane stuff we potentially saw. So like those are moments in which you don't get to see that a lot. In fact, there was the other one in the bot side of the map when Angel got caught by the Rise, but also the teleport bot side. These are plays that Suning usually don't go for to protect those side lane plays. They usually say, what can we get on the other side of the map? You know, it's the lazier approach. Sometimes it's the better approach, but there's a lot of instances where it's actually much better to be able to support the players and go for a larger fight and challenge the play. They challenged multiple plays there from Rogue Warriors and continuously shut them down.
Yeah, now Rogue Warriors have to recover in this series. A series that, you know, I was the only person to make a prediction against Suning.
That's true.
But, you know, that's because Rogue Warriors, Haro and Holder have been standouts in the past, and I think they're fantastic players. But throughout the map, everything turned upside down, and I'm just so impressed with Suning that they can come into this matchup, which should by all means be competitive. But Suning made it look like it was not.
So here's the thing about this one, because I didn't feel necessarily this set was going to be competitive, but we still did see something that not a lot of people will recognize, which is adaptation from Rogue Warriors. Because last set we saw from them going up against Victory 5, they were slaughtered in the sense that, you know, it did go to full 3 games, but they had no early game element in some of their compositions. Like, they just actually were far more confident in using Haro to essentially be as safe as, like, throw down wards, try and counter gank, and then wait to, like, you know, 80 carry second item before they tried to do anything, right? And that's not a winning strategy unless if you're going up against Spikes or something. A lot of the times teams in this league will just continuously ramp up the pressure, and what we saw from Victory 5 in that series was they stayed with that comp. Didn't matter if they lost, but it is, we made the mistakes, we'll just play better.
That was their comp.
And they did. This time around, what Rogue Warriors did was they changed and actually had a far more early game element to it. It's just that a lot of the plays 10 minutes onwards were just bad. So because of that, they lost out. But I still felt like the adaptation that we saw from this last series to this one was a good one.
And there's going to be no change coming into the game sense, of course. Rogue Warriors still on the blue side here in game number 2. So the picks we see, you know, what is the change up if you were Rogue Warriors going into this?
If I'm, this is tough. I don't think there should be a change. A lot of the times I don't like the, you know, just ban this or change up draft being the response, because they came into this game with this draft in mind, and it was well constructed. A lot of the times you just have to ask your players to play better, and I felt like Huanggai in the early portions of the game made numerous errors. A lot of times we didn't have the context on how a lot of these plays started out because the camera only panned bot side near the completion of it.
Like, well, there he is.
But a lot of the times as well, when the game was even and the Rift Herald, you know, play was neutralized by Suning, they still tried to double down on the top lane gank, knowing there was a double teleport available. A lot of the times, you can just play it slower.
Yep.
And I think that they had a composition where they should have played it slower, where Ryze is eventually going to take over on the side lane, and we didn't get to see that happening. So keep the same track. I think that they had a great and easy composition. It wasn't even difficult either.
Yeah, that's right. You have the Kennen there to engage. And the point where we could see Holder get into a comfortable position, the 2-3 item Kennen, that could change one of these fights.
Yeah, and so a lot of times, usually the criticism whenever it comes to the drafting points is for one of the weaker teams is simplify the draft and make it easier to execute in team fights. But you had a Kennen ultimate for team fight. You had the Ryze. He doesn't have to necessarily be there for the fights, but has enough damage to be such a great backline damage.
Yeah.
Jarvan Cataclysm is great. And, I mean, you don't have to say too much about what Caitlyn and Lux are supposed to do to support the team. So there were so many moments for this team to be able to do a lot with the composition that they had. I want to hear you, is what he's saying.
ZWuJi, we can't hear you, man.
But yeah, essentially they just have to play better in those instances.
Huanggai will be playing in Game 2 as well, by the way. So I said there were no change-ups for side selection. Well, no roster changes across the board, so that means Angel will also be playing in the top lane once again. And I have to say, I know it's not his debut technically, but into the top lane, it definitely was.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. A lot of the times when people see these role changes from mid to top lane or from mid to AD carry, they expect it as if like that's going to be starting at step 1.
Yeah.
Like they're just going to forget how to play the game.
You're going to be a bronze player, you know?
But like, of course, they know how to play the roles they play in solo queue quite consistently. They know what they need from the team within the system. He's been with the organization for a little bit of time now.
Yeah.
And so, especially with the Aatrox pick that he's played when he was in the mid lane not so long ago, there really is nothing changed except now your role is to be in a longer lane matchup, to communicate with the team more when you're splitting. So those are the differences, and I think that he's, as expected, doing well in the position.
Getting well with the team, that's right. Smiles across the side of Suning. Very rare that we see them so happy. Of course, SwordArt always has a smile on his face, but Maple comes into these series looking so darn serious. Now, a lot of weight off the shoulders after that game 1. That sets up the momentum for the rest of this series for Suning to continue climbing up.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you have as great as a game as that, then everybody knows that they're doing the right thing.
Yes.
And that's all you really need is that, you know, that affirmative, like that affirmation that your scrims are working out well, the practice is making sense, and all that you prepared for is, you know, worthwhile.
Because in the back of the mind, your mind after that game 1, Suning would say, well, we outclassed them. And that's what it felt like. It was an outclassing by Suning.
Yeah, and so I don't want them to get too happy.
Of course not. You don't want to be overconfident.
Because at the end of the day, you're in a best-of-3 environment. You still have to recognize that, you know, you still get through the draft. You still have to go through the same early games where, remember what Weiwei was put under in the first few levels.
Yeah.
No, red to red was what Haro's main game plan was, and Weiwei understood that, went to his Krugs, essentially weathered the storm to get to where he got at the end. So we'll have to see if that same patience is there for Suning.
We'll see if Weiwei goes to something like the Elise again. I'm curious. The jungle matchup made it in that early game. And Smlz our MVP. See if he gets something as impressive as the Sivir once again. Let's go. Game 2. See if Rogue Warriors can bounce back.
All right, let's see what we got here. Irelia bans consistently.
Yeah.
You gotta love it. I mean, I'm gonna come out and say that all 4 players are great Irelia players. All solo laners here have done some great work.
Yeah. Let's say for someone like HuaTian and Maple as well. They've been consistent on it, so not seeing it this time around. Camille, actually an interesting ban here against Rogue Warriors.
Yeah, Camille pick, I mean, for me, whenever I look at Holder, I do see great split pushing with the Camille pick. So,
yep.
Gotta love it. Usually you see a ZWuJi ban instead of the Camille because it works hand in hand. And if you ban out the Camille, then they could just go towards another bruiser up in the top lane, like a Renekton, as an example, and still make the combination work. Let's see if that's even going to be Haro's interest.
But first of all, look at the Lux that's just been picked up here on blue side. We've seen a change in priority over the last couple of days from Tahm Kench to the Lux here. Once again picked up first.
Yeah, you say Tahm Kench to Lux, which is true, but I'm also going to say the Yuumi to the Lux.
Yeah.
That I've seen more priority from, like, in the Yuumi in the initial weeks. And then you start to see, at least for the LPL teams, that they prioritize the pick potential that Lux has, the shield that she's able to provide for multiple members in team fights. I know this is a hover. There we go.
Okay, Weiwei, welcome to the party. More and more junglers picking this up, and Smlz knows exactly where that party is. Same pick, same game.
Now I'm already afraid for Rogue Warriors.
Yeah.
You have yourself not just a Lux, but a Sivir and a Karthus on Sinning side. That is a whole dumps of damage. ZWuJi, are you going to do this? I don't peg you as a Draven player. You're just messing with us.
Lux.
No, he's just messing with us. He's not a Draven player. You ain't that kind of guy. Don't act like you're that kind of guy.
I believe Xayah, I believe Kalista, but not going to be the case. It's a solo lane this time. Where will the Aatrox end up?
All right, we'll have to check on that. I know that Haro is a pretty proficient Aatrox player, but you have to expect it to go into the top side. That's the beauty of it, especially on red side, going into the second phase of pick and ban.
So Taliyah, you're expecting to be mid at this point, but we'll find out, of course. As Rogue Warriors into the second phase means they're looking to target away some of those solo laners. Angel and Maple might have to change things up. The Kiana was picked last time, but Rogue Warriors like, no, we don't need the ban.
If I'm Sinning, you start banning the ZWuJi, in my opinion. The Aatrox or the Elise. We're just talking about what's going to be doing a lot of damage on the side of Rogue Warriors. Putting more power in the hands of Holder, and Haro is going to be able to do just that. So the Aatrox that's already on the field, being able to take away the ZWuJi passive and what you can apply constant stuns with through the melee auto attacks, something you just don't want to deal with, especially with the Taliyah, who's going to have a lot of great roam potential.
Well, for now, still looking towards the bans that are coming out of Sooning. The Renekton first. That I know was mentioned before, the Kiana away from Maple. So
they're just banning a lot of the bruisers I said that do incredibly well with the ZWuJi.
Yeah.
I was like, just ban the ZWuJi so you don't have to ban the, the Aurelia, the Camille, the Renekton, the Tristana.
Wow. ZWuJi has an absolute exquisite taste. First Tristana of the LPL summer.
Tristana and Nautilus. Let's go all in.
Yeah.
Going into this Sivir. So I remember they had a lot of troubles in the last game dealing with that one. But the fact that you can just go all in, especially on the Sivir, who has some problems with the, what is it called again? Something Abid. The passive of Tristana. Literally the only thing I remembered, and now it's
Why'd
gone
you look
on the
at
wayside. I just had to shame you as well. If I'm going down in the ship, you are too.
He gets attacked. He gets
Draw
range.
beard. Draw bead. Draw bead.
Draw bead.
Draw bead.
Are you sure?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
1,000%.
All right, I trust
But
you.
the pick is being hovered. The one that got banned in the last game is the Twisted Fate.
You take away his Kiana, what does he want? He'll take the other pick that you missed. There it is. Twisted Fate for Maple.
This is perfect. Gotta love it. I wonder where he's going to be going earlier on in this game. You have the Lux double binding in the bot side of the map, so there's a great setup if you're the Twisted Fate. Want to be able to get the job done there. The Kennen ultimate to be able to set you up in the top side either. You're a great 1-4 in this composition as well. There's a lot you can do here, and a lot of people will look at this and you're concerned about too much AP with the Kennen, Karthus, and Lux. The Yasuo.
Yeah, HuaTian is a specialist at this pick. I name two great new Yasuo players, HuaTian and Windy from V5, and this will be a treat.
This is going to be fun. You can already see the face of Angel, who has nothing to do with the mid lane.
Yeah.
Literally is not in... Oh, what are we doing now?
Hang on.
Are we swapping
We
around?
got 15 seconds, Raz. They're taking you.
All right, I'm cool with this. I'm all right with this. There's a reason why we were smiling. At first, I was saying you had no part in this. Why are you smiling?
Both
now he's
mid
just saying, actually, I'm the Twisted Fate.
Really?
All right, let's go.
That makes sense. Wind Wall blocks away a lot of what Twisted Fate can do, so take it into the Aatrox. This will be curious, because will it be the AD or AP going into that top lane?
So remember this. You watched enough Victory 5 games to know that it doesn't matter who ends up picking the champion. It matters where they end up going.
That's also true.
Because it could just simply be the fact that Angel is far more comfortable with the Twisted Fate. And so if that's going to be the case, I want to see where he ends up going. I'm expecting this game to be the Klepto AD Twisted Fate.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to be banking on. Trinity Force, all that.
Yep. Of course, Xie has picked that up before here in the LPL. It said 1 game played, but 2 from my recollection is there. And let's just see how he goes, because what a return it would be for Angel to come back into summer and say, hey, top lane, Twisted Fate, or rather mid, whatever lane it is. At the end of the day, Twisted Fate is a bold pick even in the LPL.
And something that I enjoy, if he gets himself the melee matchup, which makes it easier. I mean, both of them are melee, but to the point that you made earlier, the wind wall really makes it difficult for the Twisted Fate to deal with the lane. A lot of the abilities that he has is just absolutely countered by that. So if he goes into the Aatrox with that Klepto proc, man, he's making in that cash.
Yeah, he's making some money. Suning have set themselves up here in this series. We go into game 2, heavy-handed if you're Rogue Warriors. They need a comeback. And they need it against this Twisted Fate, whichever lane it may be. And an invade no less. Smlz, good timing on the Boomerang Blade. They're spotted out by a ward, but Rogue Warriors still in. And now they're out, so it was an attempt. And they'll get spotted on the way out too.
A lot of damage is going down on them. 1 minute in, so.
No time to reset.
Yep. So Holder is the one who needs to make the trip all the way to the top side of the map, and should be a little bit harder for him.
Maple's here, just going to get the spot himself. We'll have to succeed this one though.
So you can already see 1 minute 17, yes. Just because Angel picked it up, he is still going to be in the mid lane, unless. What you doing, Angel? No, he's still going to be mid lane, no matter what.
He's mid, you're right.
So there we go. He's going to be coming into this one with the Klepto. Easy. So at least this makes it easier for like an easier lane for him to deal with. His auto attacks will still do a decent amount of damage towards HuaTian, so he's going to still be able to play this one as, you know, respectfully to the Twisted Fate. But it does change in how he ends up. Oh, actually, he's just stacking up his Qs to be able to get into the lane easier. Yeah, that's actually really smart.
So HuaTian just sends out Cyclone after Cyclone. We're taking a second look at the runes and masteries here, because yes, the surprise is that 1, Taliyah in jungle, but 2, Dark Harvest Taliyah in jungle.
Yeah, I mean, when you're an AP jungler, that's a smart rune to take most of the time. The damage that you're able to apply either comes towards the Electrocute or the Dark Harvest. This one I enjoy. He has a lot of lanes to work with and combine to be able to proc that Dark Harvest, so I want to be able to see which one he impacts first.
Of course, Sorcerer's coming second here for Haro, but he's now hit level 2 onto the Raptors, which HuaTian started stacking up, and Haro might have access into one of these lanes. Look at the top side, look at bottom. There's early push here from Suning.
Here's my fear when it comes to Taliyah versus Karthus. It comes down to the clear speed. The fact that Taliyah has gone through her first topside clear, and then you look towards Karthus, who's done topside, has done his red, has done his Raptors, just finished off the Krugs.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Yes, the pressure is on Haro to be able to make the pressure early happen within his own lanes. If the lanes start going because of his ganks, perfect. Otherwise, Karthus got a lot on you.
He's going to silently just farm away as he's just done his whole jungle coming into this one. And only thing up is the Scuttle Crab that he will look to contest down this bottom side.
Tough times here. And that's why it's just frustrating dealing with the Karthus to begin with. I'm surprised that it took so long for a lot of the teams. I know that it like stops you from really enjoying that skirmish style. Doesn't want to be able to be a part of it. Sure, the Karthus does a considerable amount of damage, but the setup he needs to make the Skittles land, he can't even get the Skittles landing on an AI.
Scuttle Crab is devious, man.
That's how hard it is in fights. Because if he was doing it on an actual human being with a brain, then good luck.
All right, Weiwei will find him then. He does pick up the Scuttle. He was spotted out. He backs away. An early back here for Suning's jungle, but really, not really. What has he got? Yeah, that's the start. That's a perfect start. So 2 AP junglers, one further ahead than the other. And Haro's still got a lot to clear away here as he heads towards the top side.
I mean, doing well for himself is always going to be the point of pressure. You can already see the ping on the minimap that Taliyah just wants to be able to get the Scuttle Crab at the top side. He's really low, so this is going to be really tough for him. Oh, no, he's used his full abilities.
He's too down. Look at the skills. They're finally going to come out. There's one. There's 2. The flash away from even the third. Haro with no stamina.
You're on the wrong side of the map, my friend.
And I was going to say that now Haro has to make the grand escape.
Well, 15 seconds until he can go for that full execute. Think it's enough time.
Wait. 1, 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
I guess you take it.
I can never say perfect because that was just one of the most imperfect positions to be in, but he played it up well to at least deny the gold.
At the very least, a small question win. Haro burning the flash stone. That's a big takeaway from that. And meanwhile, Weiwei just goes back to his own jungle and keeps on farming. So the time that Haro's outside of his camps. That's the biggest impact of all.
All right, seems like that POV is going to be on ZWuJi. So Tristana, that's the perfect one to actually have it on. I'm interested to see how it goes. Remember, it's the press the attack Tristana too. So whenever it comes to the earlier Tristanas we've seen primarily lethal tempo and the Hail of Blades. He's going all in for this one.
Oh, good flash from Smlz, but if he can turn it into a gauge, flash from Huanggai burnt out early as well as the Boomerang Blade going to add some extra damage, and Suning turned that right back.
That one costed a lot. At least the flash was taking off of Smlz, which is crucial because the strategy of the whole all-in potential from the Nautilus and Tristana is to be able to, get that rocket jump on top of you and make the damage count. So back to the point is, remember last time when I was seeing Griffin pick up the Tristana, Viper with the Hail of Blades, a lot of it is on how you're able to get on top of your target and fully get the explosion and reset off your rocket jump. This one is just, hey, in team fights, they're going to be doing a lot of damage. You're going to wait till team fights because, yeah, this is doing a lot for you. If he can survive the lightning phases, Maple in the same predicament. Holder hits level 6 early, and Maple doesn't have the minion wave trying to kite around. He flashes, and that's the stun last second. The edge of the surge hits him. Welcome to the top lane, Holder. That was just a misexecution on his Q flash. Unfortunately. So getting away, Holder with no flash. He's able to push out the lane, so you take what you can get, but Suning's bottom lane is making that such a bigger trade. Man, I mean, I guess he just didn't expect the fact that he was going to be flashing away. Considerable advantage, got that stack. Yeah, that's all that matters. Karthus has 6 as well, remember. Weiwei probably doesn't have the damage to burn him down. As Tristana actually staying in lane. If ZWuJi takes 1 Q, that ult's coming. I'm just not happy with that, damage to teleport. Oh, God. And even the Nautilus locked on down. Potential double kill Raz. I'm going to call it now, ZWuJi. Just below half health, and this is happening all again. Yeah, Weiwei's just in the area for the exact reason that you're mentioning. He wants it. He wants it so badly. Haro could have tried to steal the Scuttle Crab. At least he gets something, but hit by 1 Skittle. And Weiwei forced away. He might need to calm down. He's using quite a lot of mana. Can't even use the ultimate strategy. Still has enough, it feels. Oh, Destiny. Where is it coming? He was thinking about it. Back to lane! Yeah, he got wind of certain information that Taliyah was close by. So that's a no from him. HuaTian spotted walking down as well. So Suning not going to take that. There's still not enough safety. It's Huanggai. Every time he gets this low, the threat's there. HuaTian was moving for obvious reasons to get some pressure going to the bottom side of the map. So Smlz and SwordArt just stopped it. Just stop it. Honestly. Oh! Looks like we've silenced things. Good block there by the wind wall from HuaTian in the mid lane. He's winning out this lane while shenanigans going down the bottom side. We've paused the button down there, look back towards the mid, and 15 CS for the Yasuo, and that's what you could hope for this early on. Yeah, and just looking back and rationalizing Twisted Fate Ultimate, I don't think he saw the contest that Haro did for Scuttle Crab. Yeah. Because if he saw the HP of Haro in that situation, knew that he was in the area close by to his bottom lane, there was no reason for him to use Twisted Fate Ultimate to look for a potential dive. So probably just didn't have that added context. It happens though. I mean, Trust Angel from game 1. And Trust Angel from the times we've seen him in the past in the LPL. I'm not going to take anything away from that. He's got picked up Sheen in this early portion of the game as well. I'm going to pick up a blue buff too, so still in a pretty decent state. So it was the top lane here for Suning and Rogue. So we're back to that same state we were in game 1, where this time around Suning with more winning lanes, more early gold on the board at 1,500 lead. And the mobility is certainly there. Sure, it didn't actually go through with, Angel opting to use his ultimate back mid, but if we're just talking about how this game has been faring for them, then certainly Angel's going to be able to have the access to help his lanes. Not now, though. Weaver's Wall on the hunt, finding lands. Boomerang Blade, the counter engage. What? The potential, they get pulled back in. Smlz sticks around for too long and pays for it. First blood over to ZWuJi. You hate to see it happen. Can Weiwei get something back, though? The slow's there from the Wall of Pain, but Huanggai was just past it, so no bueno. First blood still over to Rogue Warriors with no compensation. You know what, though? That's a great trade. He got himself a stack.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll take No, I won't take
that.
No, I don't take it.
No, you definitely don't.
Not at all.
First blood went to ZWuJi. The Tristana, who got shoved out, now has something.
But look at how well they play it. Just for this. This is what we're talking about with some of the greed. And the fact that he ends up walking into it at the end of the day is a sad reality because, you know.
I think Smlz had Spell Shield, but walked over a rock, and that popped it first.
I think it was a Q. It was a Taliyah Q.
It was unfortunate.
Yeah.
Like, that's a great way to put it. So
Taliyah Q popped it, and then of course, yep, the flick went through.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, man, he was the one that got out of it, and thought he could ride that tightrope. Oh, he found a member though. He's got somebody.
Take that. Destiny up into the top lane, and the World Ender's there. Holder gets burnt down pretty quickly as Maple low, but I think Angel should have this gold card kill. It's the fate on the board.
He has a Fate too, so if you wanted to end up running up that lane, movement speed's there for the Twisted Fate. Great early gank to be able to get that happening, and now he has a kill to his name.
It looks like he's going back mid for now, though, and that kill going to be pretty hard for HuaTian to deal with. Still without his Static Shiv in this lane to get more wave push, get more access to other lanes.
Oh, this is a great move here from Rogue Warriors.
This is quick, yeah.
That play, just remember, the fact that the play happened to begin with, Angel ended up heading back into the mid lane to deal with the wave crashing in, and it gave an opportunity to Rogue Warriors to look for this, but yeah, at least Karthus here to contest is still pretty low.
Teleport available for Holder if he wants to turn it into a fight. Ult comes through, Huanggai gets low, Rift Ult secured by Haro while Weiwei runs on in, dies in the perfect position. No! Huanggai flashed on top of the Skittle. And I have to say, Weiwei just timed that perfectly. They're going to deny the Rift Ult, look for HuaTian to get into the fight and get positioning back into the river. Angel with no ulti, Holders rejoin the fight, and Haro pushes them off, pick it up, it's theirs.
At least they got back with the second fight in there, but all right, ZWuJi should be able to get out pretty easily.
I just love how Huanggai flashed, and as he did, the Skittle was already there.
You know what's hilarious? I didn't even get, there was so much happening on the screen at the time that I didn't even get to see it. I guess I'm spared.
A moment of bliss.
I guess I'm spared.
You know there's a replay coming up, Raz. You're not spared for now. I want to see what happens with this.
Oh my god, I saw it on my screen.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw it. That was great, wasn't it?
It's great.
That was beautiful.
I think I compliment Weiwei for that.
Yes,
yeah, absolutely. As Karthus picks up his first kill, Runic Echoes, 2 stacks as well. The amount of Magi's Karthus we've seen in the LPL so far has been incredible. And we'll see if it gets to the point here for Suning, whether they can do that again. Still ahead in gold at this point at 12 minutes in the game.
And it's just so frustrating because you're at a consistent timer. And that's what people really dislike dealing with when it comes to the Karthus. If you don't end up, you know, pressing for ganks or looking for a skirmish towards the champion, and even if you do, let's just say you get yourself into a 1v1 versus Karthus. Wall of Pain, Skittle accuracy, suddenly he ends up winning that. And so, for me, Karthus is a champion. Sure, he got nerfed numerous times coming into this patch, but he is still a great jungle talent that really sets up his lanes well with an ultimate that, I mean, we remember him as one of the OG champions that lit up the map in Season 2 Worlds, and he's still ridiculously relevant because of that amount of damage that he has.
Yeah. And against a team of Rogue Warriors, where's the shielding? Like, how does ZWuJi survive? How does anyone survive at this point? A lot of MR is the answer, and to get to that point, for some of the carries, going to be difficult, so. Good window here for Suning, all game long it feels like, as they're still towards the top side. They've got the Karthus nearby, and they've got vision amongst.
The wards are allowing SwordArt to play on that line. There's no way for, unless if this pick just goes off.
They pull in the Karthus, they send in the last breath, and yep. That's what happens with the Taliyah as they flash away. Here comes the Requiem finally onto HuaTian. They'll find one, they'll get the stack, and Weiwei doesn't go down empty-handed. 1-for-1 trade and Rogue Warriors. Good pick, but gotta get out.
Maple still has Flash ultimate, which is why he was looming over there. But I'm surprised that ended up turning into just a flat trade, because Suning was the one that had full vision of Taliyah and when she was moving over. But the beauty of Karthus is not only does he get the kill back, but then essentially trades on the entire enemy team, so his lanes can still now look back towards the turrets in both top and mid lane and start chipping at them.
Moving mid lane with a one-item Twisted Fate, he just starts whacking away at the turret. It was Weiwei here who get pulled in.
Yeah, just tried to go in for a Q, ends up getting picked off. They had full vision that that was going to be the situation with a ward that you can now see the teleport coming through from Maple. And they finally get a trade back, so Weiwei still gets a kill off of it. And that's another app. You know what? We're just going to have a list of Karthus frustrations.
Yep.
Because that's another one. You get a great pick onto the champion, and the ultimate is going to trade right back on top of your head.
Yeah. Some good CDR building up as well. Get ready for that point. 30-40%. That's the third frustration to add to the list. Of the ultimate ends up being available all the time as Holder. And Haro. Ready for Maple down the bottom lane. You need the decisive shove now to land. The Infernal Chain's there and flashed away from. Key summon a burnt from Maple as look at the Dragon, look at what's coming up, and look at the Rift Herald getting dropped down bot.
And in the minimap too, you see Yasuo's been rotating to the play, which has been a great addition to Rogue Warriors. The fact that HuaTian is always committed to the play. There's no, I'll shove mid, you guys do this, and if any problems happen and occur, like a teleport flank and you are forced into a fight, then I'll roam over. He preemptively roams just in case and makes it easier for Rogue Warriors to assure this trade.
At least with Rift Herald getting that first turret, Rogue Warriors pull back some of the gold. Top lane now going to be traded off by Suning, but there's another charge coming through and Rogue Warriors are committing to the bottom lane. This should keep on going.
Yeah, nothing's going to stop them. Not only did you mention the Dragon at the time, but now this is just the second turret to their name because of the Rift Herald. So this is a huge win on top, compiling on the fact of that previous Rift Herald fight.
At least for Suning, sending Smlz up to make a similar kind of trade. This will be unanswered for now, but Yasuo is coming. Holder on the Aatrox is coming as well. Smlz playing aggressive as always here, even in the lane with SwordArt nearby.
You saw up in the last graphic, the fact that only 2 turret plates were taken and it was by Suning. It really goes to show, the story of this game being how slow it is. For both teams not really fully committing to the lane and being able to find a turret plate into the name, even with how Smlz and SwordArt had been playing the bot side of the map, and how close we were to an all-out turret dive by the Twisted Fate, but they played it safe. They were pretty damn confident with the later portions of their game, and so our criticism last game to Rogue Warriors and how they can play this one out slowly, Suning has always had that level of patience, and now both of them are recognizing it's okay. We have our own strategy later on.
Yeah.
Rogue Warriors with the Yasuo, Aatrox, like that comp is always online. While with Suning, I mean, I don't even have to, we already talked about on the first phase of their pick and ban. Karthus and Sivir is an insane amount of damage, and the playmaking from Kennen is going to be huge. So if I'm Suning, I want a team fight. If I'm Rogue Warriors, then I want to find myself on side lane and do what I can with HuaTian moving around the map.
I guess I'll add this other element in that Maple as well, always in that side lane, even bigger threat. Something we didn't get to touch on because so busy with the unique picks in this game was that this is a split pushing Kennen. It's a Blade of the Ruined King, press the attack, and something that it's not often you see Maple.
That's true.
On a I guess he wanted to play Twisted Fate, and this is his closest element.
This is very true. In fact, I went through the same issues as some people would, which is you just kind of assume you see so many AP Kennens that you come into the game and don't even take a glance at the items. The Blade of the Ruined King. So it really does change that split pushing element that, he's going to certainly be much better than Holder on the side lane. He does need Executioner's Calling, in my opinion, so he can at least, especially when Ultimate gets popped by Holder, he can keep him down. Where are we going here?
Destiny on top of the jungle, locked on down. You're not going to get the wild card, but Angel with 2 items starting to hit hard. Look at the Twisted Fate. The Karthus will die, but Haro in a death position himself. Old D coming in. What will the Weaver's Wall do? Well, maybe lock down the mid laner as Angel still hitting like a truck. This Twisted Fate is so good in supporting positions.
That's a 2-for-1. It was pretty damn big for Suning. Weiwei sent himself in there as a sacrificial lamb to get as much damage down as possible. The objective was complete. Haro didn't have stopwatch, and he knew it.
Yep.
He just had to at least throw whatever he could, and that was the Weaver's Wall to help the team.
And as I said to Clement the other day, Raz, I said, I love either Magi's or Dark Seal Karthus. Because you die, you lose some stacks, but then you ult. And then you pull up more stacks. 3 back on the board here for
That is the
Karthus.
Worst explanation.
I don't care. I'm not a color caster, so I can say this.
That's fair.
20 CS and leaders, Weiwei. That's the expectation. Bottom lane getting hard. Holder almost getting solo killed. Yeah, pull him back in. That's not what you want.
But he's going to have to go back to base. I don't think SwordArt will get much out of this one, but it's a a lose-lose situation.
You're not going back anywhere.
Oh, we're sending some people over.
They're going to be spotted out. 3 members down the bottom side, but I think Suning matched this even better.
Yeah, easily. That's why, you know, lose-lose situation for Rogue Warriors. If they send members down here, they're still going to lose the skirmish, so they're just going to have to give away the turret. That's the safest option.
Plus they lose some of the pressure on mid for now and towards this dragon soon, as it was Angel's Destiny that cornered Haro.
Yeah, found the pick. The follow-up from Weiwei was interesting. He wasn't going to be able to get the Skittles, unfortunately. Yeah. But there's only one way to get the damage down.
He landed the ult. That's what matters.
You're going to land it no matter what. You even see Smlz rotating to the play, too. So great work from Suning to get to the team fight and make a payoff. As I say that, get out of there.
Smlz dodging away this time. He doesn't want to get hit by the same trick as Huanggai runs in almost to his death, it feels like, as the bottom lane starting to chunk down even more so. Rogue Warriors again looking for that play, trying to be proactive. Suning at 3,000 gold ahead, and Rogue Warriors are slowly slipping away once more.
That was a great timing for Rogue Warriors to make the play happen.
Yeah.
If they had gotten the kill, rotate towards the second Ocean Dragon for them. I mean, they would have been in a great spot as a team. Suddenly you have another objective to your name. They're still going to be looking for it, but Yasuo is not going to be a part of it. This is incredibly risky, knowing that they will be in a numbers disadvantage. So, yeah, get out of there.
Walking down now. At least Dragon hasn't been started. Double Ocean potential here for Rogue Warriors, and that would quell something, but doesn't seem to be enough. Smlz has the push on mid lane. Rogue Warriors do not have the positioning on Dragon. Maple looking for the solo kill once again. That's the world ender. The flash from Maple. The ult.
Okay.
That was execution 10 out of 10.
Yep. Weiwei still gets the kill on that one. Karthus ultimate getting out there. But man, this is tough now. This is what makes this composition hard to deal with. It reminds you of last game with the teleports always matching Rogue Warriors. In this case, it's it's the members with Twisted Fate coming through, and the Karthus ultimate always.
Haro thought there would be only one person moving through the jungle, but when you run through the jungle, the Suning run as a unit.
Yep, a lot of dangers in there. The problem is Suning's roaming as a crew at all times.
I said the words outclassed, and in game 2, I feel like I'm going to repeat myself. ZWuJi almost caught out. Rocket jumps away mid gold card, and this 2-item Tristana cannot withstand the pressure. Backing away, Rogue Warriors under turret. HuaTian stays too long. Gets chunked out. There are so many blades just flying at the carries of Rogue Warriors.
You know, HuaTian put himself at risk there, trying to clear the wave as a Yasuo. He put a lot of faith in the wind wall, by the way. There's a lot of bugs on that one, so you might end up getting hit by the Twisted Fate anyways. But still got hit at the back end of the wind wall, and I mean, what did he expect on that one?
Yeah. Getting caught out, losing the turret, continues to compile here for Rogue Warriors. Down 6,000 gold. Suning have now doubled. It's actually, it's 6. Just checking my math. Well, have a look at this because you can see what Haro was trying to find.
Ooh, Spell Shield.
Yeah.
So quick on that one. It's always kind of risky to throw out a Spell Shield in those instances because much like last time round, you'll catch the Q on Taliyah, and then you won't be able to Spell Shield the flick, but was able to do that perfectly.
Yeah.
And the team was right behind you. He's like, what are you doing there alone?
If it's not one thing, it's the other, right? Weiwei has consistently kept this game in the stead of Suning. But the solo lanes have been playing out to their heart's content as well.
Yeah, and so now I'm going to switch this one. You know how I said that Suning's comp's pretty damn good for team fights?
I mean, Rogue Warriors are there too, I guess.
Okay, well, my point is that Suning is going to find himself on side lanes more often.
Okay.
Kennen on side lane with the split push build that he has is great. Just the Twisted Fate now being able to complete his rapid fire cannon. He's in a great position himself, going to be going towards Essence Reaver, you got to believe.
Yep.
So if we're just talking about what damage they can put on side lanes, Kennen's already doing it.
Yeah.
So I don't even think they should go for team fights any longer. That's just going to be a game for Rogue Warriors to bank off.
There's almost that insult to injury as well, though, Raz, where Suning is so far ahead that they could do that and probably still come out ahead. I mean, would show maybe a lack of respect, but also show the confidence Suning have shown all series long.
Yeah, it's not going to make the coaches in the back happy.
No, probably not.
When he's not going to be like, all right, you guys won in the most ridiculous way possible. It was messy, and we're happy about it.
You know what? We're going out for some food.
And we're going to have a talk. But yeah, this has been pretty clean. You see the double control ward here. Probably just bad communication. I actually have no idea why you have that double control ward. But
double bait.
At this point, there's no vision on the side from Rogue Warriors at all. So Suning can just start up this Baron.
Weiwei sitting in a brush, trying to find a pick. Weiwei goes golden. Now they're going to do it again. Seismic shove flashed away from Angel, walks up. That was a gold card. And ZWuJi felt it. Ultimate out from Lux too.
That pose Karthus had as he went gold was literally the Statue of Liberty. That's what it was. I know the skin is there for the champion.
No one ever used it because
it's pretty bad.
Good.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's a bad skin. You're right. But the pose was fabulous. Speaking of poses, where are we going? Back into the mid lane.
He did it again. Doesn't care about the fight. Sitting in the mid, doing what you asked. Haro, where's the help? Remember how I said in the early game, Raz, where's the shielding, where's the save? There is none from the Karthus.
Can't help him. He's gone. I don't know how it happened. Observer doesn't either. Sometimes it just happens like that. I'm just going to assume that he got crit.
Oh, no.
All right. Oh, stop it.
Not often we see a really good split pushing Kennen. This is going to be the game. Ultimate popped out. ZWuJi flashes on in. The stun not going to connect. As Maple with 2 items still gets taken down. The lifeline can't save him either. But Suning say, okay, take one for the team, Maple. We get Baron.
Look, they had to do something. That was their response. And this is what happened. Oh, yeah, he did get crit. That was it. Oh. Yep, that's Smlz the assassin.
He just stood there, accepted his fate. Nothing truer than a Karthus ult. Suning just seeing the best. I've said this all series long. No, I sound like a broken record, but have we seen a cleaner series from Suning?
That's a no from me, Bob.
There you go. This puts hope in the team that has reorganized, has changed. I'm curious to see what the changes in future, whether we'll be seeing more of Angel.
I will say this. I mean, I feel like this season has been beautiful to the adaptation of the game. Last season, what we saw was the introduction of AP bot laners, and I think that was it started off hectic and crazy. It got a lot better. We did the balance changes, and AD carries willing to actually play anything other than these ranged ADs.
Yep.
But also in this season, what you're seeing is solo laners being free to, really calling themselves solo laners. Not just mid laners or top laners. Victory 5's entire identity is essentially that.
Yes.
And now you're seeing teams say, hey, you know what? We have confidence in players like Angel and Maple to coexist on the starting lineup. Not only have mages been fabulous in the top lane for some time, but in the mid lane, you've been seeing bruisers consistently. And past that point, these players know how to play these roles in solo queue. It makes a lot of sense for them to be able to make this transition.
Feels like there's a big moment where solo laners get to show their mechanical skill. We've seen a lot of that in the past couple of weeks, and especially out of this game where Suning now send those solo laners to the mid lane with Baron buff. Such a hard siege for Rogue Warriors to contest here. There is so much poke, and even walking near the turrets, what do you do? It's
hard, and then there's impossible. Right now, it's that level of impossibility. Huanggai.
Nothing's impossible, says Rogue Warriors. They ult onto Smlz, who just spell shields it. HuaTian looking for an ult. He finds it onto Weiwei, pops it in. But that's the Karthus who still is yet to die. He's defiling the team as Maple goes in. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, Rogue Warriors torn asunder.
All right, well, that's the saddest I've ever seen. Rogue Warriors on that one.
Yeah.
Huanggai finds a pick, or at least attempts to find a pick, and then found himself on the bad end of Weiwei.
Well, lights on here for Suning. Never did I think I would see a clean 2-0 series here today, but that's all I got. Clean all the way from Suning. An enjoyable team to watch. An enjoyable 2-0, where they stand strong over the team of Rogue Warriors.
3 30-minute games. Rogue Warriors came into this series with expectations, reasonable ones, but were just left with a mark on their face. Swift backhandings from the side of Suning. This is crazy.
Service to the English audience. Suning said, you know what, guys? We know you're looking forward to RNG and EDG. What we'll do for you, make it a clean 2-0. We'll get you there faster. End of the day, Suning. Match of their week, I would say. Because never before have I seen this roster come together and perform like that on Summoner's Rift, at least in the summer season so far.
And just so people know, at this moment in time, Suning, well, at least before this series, was placed at the 8th place position, which is just the border of playoffs. Now they have their 5th win. Beforehand, they were tied with Victory 5 and JD in terms of just series wins alone, regardless of the losses and points that are involved.
Yeah.
Because, Suning has just played the least amount of games in comparison to those two teams. Now they're propelled up to the 7th place, can fight for 6th. Like, this is how close a lot of the teams are. Every split has its own story of teams just having that last series, last game, last point to be able to find themselves, sneak into the playoffs. Suning don't want any part of that. Last split was already that between them and Sino Dragons. They don't want that again. It's too much stress in their lives.
Because it was one series that made teams like, you know, like BLG miss out, that teams, of course, like Suning as well can reflect on it. You didn't want this to be one of those series, so they can take away from this saying, yes, at the end of the day, if Rogue Warriors do eventually make that run, they can deny that. They can secure a potential spot.
Yeah, and multiple takeaways, not only to the fact that they played out their compositions well, not only did they push Rogue Warriors down a little bit more, which is great for them in the standings, but we saw a Suning that propelled mechanically.
Yes.
A team that we saw SMLZ, Maple, Angel, Weiwei, all of them really make minimal mistakes individually. And so these are the problems we had from them in Spring Split. Certainly didn't rear its head today. You only feel more and more confident with them coming into the final weeks of the LPL.
Because coming into today, my big spiel was, well, Weiwei and BuBu come in and they enable the rest of Suning. Angel comes in and he enables himself and the rest of Suning followed by, and they enable themselves too. But long story short, Suning, when they play across 3 different lanes, it looks okay. You know what I'm trying to say, right? I've enjoyed too much of this game, and now I don't know where I am.
Look, I would agree in the sense that this game also makes me speechless.
Okay, great.
You know, whenever you see games like these where Suning is able to just slaughter you in lanes that are initially known as like facilitators. I'm talking about Maple. When Maple came out initially with, in Spring Split with his LeBlanc play, he actually did not do well.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of the games, his Lissandra games, his Nico games, like he suffered in quite a bit of those.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was an on and off performance. This split has definitely seen a lot more stronger performances from Maple, where he's able to come out and be a lot more confident in his own play. He's not playing just the facilitating types, the pure meta types. Able to come out with the Kiana pick.
Yeah.
Able to find himself with the Blade of the Rune King Kennen in the top side of the map. Like, those are plays that we want to see more from Maple. Like, raw confidence in his abilities to essentially play whatever he wants. Of course, today going up against Rogue Warriors, you can do that. I'm really interested in the tomorrows of what Suning can do going forward. So that's what I want to see. Consistency on the line.
Yeah, and at least from players also like SMLZ, who we have such a high standard, who we've always said is one of the best AD carries in the league.
Yes.
If everyone else is performing up, SMLZ follows too.
Next performance, next set that Suning's going to be going up against is Top Esports. Second place team in the league.
Yep.
So if there's going to be a challenge, that one's going to be it. That's going to be the only series of week 8, and then we're not going to see them for some time until week 9. So because you know, they're going to be they're going to have a lot of sets in the next in week 9, week 10, and week 11. That's probably the reason for it. But that's going to be a big challenge for them. That is, for us, like, going to showcase a lot. Even if they lose that series, they get a point on that one, or they just show us great games, that affirms a lot of the, you know, suspicions or questions that we had for the team.
Yep.
And is this level down in mechanics, losing Long Sing, just a breath of fresh air for the team, a new angle that they can come into the game with. New coaching staff actually working out well for them. I mean, Izun's still there, but Fluid when coming in, Comet leading the team, a lot of that changes that you look back on and say, like, how does this help? Because Comet, it's a great drafting coach.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it feels like their drafts are better. They're more in tune with the meta, and at the same time, the players just look better. And if that's going to happen, then, I mean, I'm happy for it.
The road goes on for Suning. Great win, but let's transition over to Rogue Warriors and what this means for them, because the V5 loss was a big question mark after it was, what, EDG, LNG, their big victories. You then go to V5 and you say, oh, this is troubling. Now Suning, where do we put them?
So at the beginning of the split, my expectations for Rogue Warriors, I said they were a playoff team.
You did. I was trailing behind.
So like exactly. And we talked about the fact that the talent in the team, Holder coming in, and we saw how well he was able to perform in the old iteration of Rogue Warriors. The one that had SMLZ, Doinby, all of that. Remember, that was Holder going up against former teammates in that regard, but they had very limited time together on the field because Holder was the sub to Mouse. Holder was mechanically strong. Haro is mechanically strong, has had the experience from EDG. And then from the bottom side of the map, I mean, you should be happy with ZWuJi and Killua or Huanggai. Either one plays well. More so at the end of the day, synergy. The team is still trying to figure out what style works alongside with them, especially if they have a bottom lane that wants to play more late game focused and still trying to etch a style for the team. And on top of that, if there's really becoming formed in the MSI offseason, I suppose, you know, you still have a lot of time to be able to build up that kind of same communication in which every other team has started at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that comes into play. And it's unfortunate to be able to see the team kind of struggling because of that.
At least there'll be some recovery. I'm just looking at their schedule over here as well. LGD, DMO, JDG coming up. Some trying matches. Remember, LGD have been kingmakers in the past and also been troublemakers in the same regard.
If they lose, in my eyes, if they lose any of those games, I'll give them the leniency of JD.
Okay.
They can essentially lose to JD, and I'm fine with that. But if they lose to the other teams, then that's where I'd call it. That I feel like this team wouldn't be able to make it to playoffs. Okay. That I would be wrong, essentially, in my expectations for the squad. And it's unfortunate. You know, they still have a long time if that's the case. You know, going into the next year, I hope they keep together. They're all very young talent. A lot of them have a great future ahead of them. So that's something that we're going to have to hold out for. Put an X in your calendar for those games to see if they can turn it on now. Turn the switch on and be able to play up to snuff. And if they don't, then it's okay. It's okay to essentially treat this as a developmental split and not expect too much from just having that one split.
Because you don't bring in a big name like Haro and say it's all going to happen now. Although there are hopes that Haro and Holder can lead the team. There have been some games where they've done that. They've done that and they've made developments. But to get the rest of the team following across, I'd give it, maybe a year.
And remember, at the end of the day, a lot of people will start questioning some of these players like Haro and say, is he really a big ticket name, right? But you've seen glowing moments for all of these players. I mean, you've seen the Pike plays from the support in Killua. You've seen how well he was able to perform last split, even with his last year of poor performance. Haro in his Worlds and his Lee Sin kicks, consistently he was one of the strongest members of EDG at the time. And then, I mean, you go towards Holder, you saw those moments on his AP champions, his Vladimir, his Akali. I can go through all of them. And I feel like they all showcase something for me. The only question mark was ever HuaTian. But HuaTian this split, in fact, was a great point of growth for me. I said it in game,
and he's just been so much better.
Exactly. So I'm you know, I'm the type of person to say give it time. You know, give it a lot more time. A lot of people, whenever they see like a slew of weeks of bad performances, they say, break it up.
It gets over.
Throw in the subs.
Team will never be good,
Throw the misfits at them, right? Like, get the entire academy team up there.
We're just going to see how this goes.
But they should not.
No.
They definitely should play, because they have, you know, very young players. So don't want to re-hit the same topic twice, but have a lot of faith in them.
But I mean, just on the note of HuaTian as well, it's amazing that he could go from a 0.6, 0.7 Syndra or some average performances in spring to the development now we see with confidence in things like Yasuo, the Nico's been great as you mentioned, the wider champion pool to boot.
Because I mean, there's multiple factors that come into play when a player doesn't perform well at this stage, right? Especially for the fans that I'm talking about, a majority of the fans that don't have a lot of focus ideas on like why the mid laner isn't being supported. Is it more so the jungle's mistake? Is it pick and ban? All those are not even really presented to the fans themselves necessarily. And then you go deeper to it, and then you talk about the fact that it is their first split in the league, right? How much is it really nerves? Are we seeing the best of that player?
Yes.
I've certainly been in instances where I've seen a player performing incredibly well in scrims and in the backstage, and then they come out in the front stage in front of the spotlights and everything, and it doesn't go up to plan. That everything actually, they look awful, right? Those experiences happen so much, so like incredibly often. The fans don't get to see that at the end of the day, and the organizations have to throw in different expectations because of that.
It's pretty rough. We are just waiting for MVP to cap off this series before we go into the next one.
All right, who do you think is the MVP on this one? I'm throwing you under the bus on this one.
I mean, Maple. Oh no, I don't know. Maybe no. What am I saying? It's a car. It's why would it not be Karthus?
It's Karthus.
Yeah,
it's Weiwei.
It's Weiwei. Has to be Weiwei.
We're just gonna keep saying Weiwei until the graphic comes up.
I'll say Weiwei again, please.
No, don't show me. Don't even say that.
Watch this. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Yeah! It's actually because I just got told.
Did you get told before or after you said Weiwei?
As I said it.
As you said it?
As I said it. It was a vote of confidence.
Story.
Yeah.
Likely story.
29% damage. That's a jungler for you, folks. That's a Karthus jungle.
That Karthus went wild. Even flashed in, a la Season 2, you know, Reginald.
Yeah.
When he was just like, I got the damage down, now it's up to you guys. That was the constant play.
Like
it's up to you guys.
And
boom! I love it.
Yeah, that's great.
You have to love it.
I mean, there are many great players like that. You mentioned the flashing in. It happened a couple of times. Here getting pulled off. Rogueroy's like, yeah, we got the pick, but it's onto the Karthus.
And that's the thing. A lot of the times you have to give the credit to the Karthus, but look at how desperate everyone else to get the trade right back.
Yeah.
It wasn't even because of the Karthus. That was literally Karthus' mistake. That was because Karthus played poorly, that they got something back for it.
And then this.
Now this is just fun.
The fail-safe trigger.
No, this is just great.
Yeah.
I mean, even though he missed some cues, that's fine. It happens. Everyone does it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But when he got hooked by the Nautilus, that was a no-no.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, did Weiwei deserve it? Yeah. We both said Weiwei. You in a suspicious manner.
I don't know why I said Maple. I was just excited. I mean,
I'm just saying you got the word at the same time as you said Weiwei.
Yeah.
So who's really saying Weiwei?
Look, at the end of the day, I think it's one of those games where you go, oh, you know, you could give it across the board. It's just one of those games for Sony where everyone played to the caliber.
It is. We're fair with that.
So, you know, to that degree, still impressive stuff. Weiwei gets MVP. Karthus always wins. Well, not always, but who knows.
Always wins.
2-0 from Suning. That's important. Step number 1. Step number 2. Match of the week. I wish I could take this thing out. The ends are over there, but it's being blocked. We go into this right after the short break in Beijing. RNG, EDG, let's go. Now.